Have you ever looked around at your life and just felt off, like you're wearing clothes that are 2 sizes too small? The same daily routines, the same conversations with the same people, the same old habits. Everything on the outside looks the same, but on the inside, you know something fundamental has shifted. It feels like you just don't fit into your own life anymore. If that sounds familiar, you're in the right place. In this video, we're going to dive deep into why this feeling happens, why it's so uncomfortable, and most importantly, how you can navigate this transition and step into the person you're becoming. First, let's get one thing straight. This feeling is a powerful sign of growth. When you feel like you've outgrown your old life, it doesn't mean that life was bad or that you made mistakes. It simply means it served its purpose for the person you were back then. Think of it like a video game level. You mastered it, you learned the lessons, you collected the experience points, and now it's time to move on to the next stage. Sticking around would just be repetitive and unfulfilling. Personal development rarely starts with a burst of inspiration and joy. More often than not, it begins with a deep, nagging sense of discomfort. It's the feeling that something just isn't right anymore. This discomfort is a catalyst. Growth, by its very nature, requires breaking the mold of the familiar. It's about stretching beyond your current limits, and that stretching process can feel strange and even painful. You might feel lost, confused, or like you're adrift without a map. But you're not lost. You're in transition. You are shedding an old skin to make way for a new one. This is a normal, essential part of evolving into a more authentic version of yourself. The discomfort is not a red flag. It's a green light, signaling that you're on the brink of a major breakthrough. So, if this is a sign of growth, why does it feel so tempting to just cling to the old life, even when it's suffocating you? The answer lies in our own brains. Your brain is wired for survival, and a key part of its survival strategy is to seek out what is familiar and predictable. Progress, change, and the unknown are seen as potential threats. So, your brain prefers the comfort of the familiar over the uncertainty of progress. Those old habits, even the ones you know are holding you back, feel safe. That old identity, the one you've worn for years, feels predictable. You know how people will react to you. You know the rules of the game. Stepping into a new version of yourself means all of that gets thrown up in the air. It's scary. But here's the paradox. Staying in a life that no longer fits you doesn't actually keep you safe. Instead, it breeds a different kind of danger. It leads to frustration, a feeling of being stuck, a pervasive numbness, and a constant erosion of your self-worth. You start to doubt yourself, wondering what's wrong with you for not being happy with what you have. That comfort zone, which once felt like a safe harbor, slowly transforms into a cage. And breaking free requires acknowledging that the perceived safety of staying put is an illusion. True safety lies in aligning your life with who you are becoming. Let's talk about the identity shift itself, because this is often the hardest part of the journey. When your identity starts to change, it creates ripples in every area of your life. First, the people around you will react. Some may not understand the changes they see in you. They were used to the old you, and your evolution might feel threatening or confusing to them. Your relationships might be tested. Second, your routines will inevitably break. The things that once filled your days may no longer feel meaningful. The way you spend your time, your energy, and your attention will all need to be reevaluated. And third, the sense of certainty you once had completely disappears. You're no longer the person you were, but you're not quite the person you're becoming either. You're floating in this liminal space, this in-between stage. It's like being on a trapeze. You've let go of one bar, and you're flying through the air, waiting to catch the next one. This is the moment of maximum vulnerability, and it's precisely here that most people get scared and retreat. They scramble back to the old, familiar life because the uncertainty of the new one is just too much to handle. But staying in that in-between space is the key. So, how do you move forward through this messy, uncertain phase without completely panicking? The answer isn't to take a bulldozer to your old life. You don't need to burn everything to the ground in a dramatic blaze. The key is to consciously and intentionally update your life, piece by piece. First, begin the process of releasing what no longer aligns with you. Take a gentle but honest inventory of your life. Which habits drain your energy? Which relationships are based on who you used to be, not who you are now? Which routines feel like obligations rather than choices? Start to let these things go, not with anger or resentment, but with gratitude for the role they played. Second, and this is crucial, you must create space before you have clarity. We often think we need a detailed 5-year plan before we can make a change. But clarity doesn't work that way. Clarity is not something you find, it's something that finds you when you create the space for it. This space can be literal, like decluttering your home. It can be mental and emotional. It might mean spending more time alone, journaling, meditating, or simply doing nothing. In the quiet, in the emptiness, your inner guidance system will have a chance to speak. Your direction will start to appear, not as a lightning bolt, but as a quiet whisper. And third, you have to act before you feel ready. This is a huge one. If you wait until you feel 100% confident and ready, you will be waiting forever. Readiness is not a prerequisite for action, it's a result of it. Courage comes first, then comfort. Confidence comes after you take the scary step. Take one small, imperfect action in the direction of your new self. Make that phone call. Sign up for that class. Set that boundary. Each small act of courage builds momentum and proves to yourself that you are capable of navigating this change. So, what comes next? What's on the other side of all this discomfort and uncertainty? When you stop fighting the transition and start to embrace it, something magical begins to happen. Slowly but surely, clarity starts to return. The fog begins to lift, and you start to see the path ahead more clearly. Your confidence, which may have been shaken, begins to rebuild itself, brick by brick, with every courageous action you take, and your life starts to feel intentional again. You stop trying to force yourself into a box that you've outgrown. You stop performing a version of yourself that is no longer authentic. Instead, you begin the beautiful, creative process of building a life that truly fits the person you are right now. It won't happen overnight. It's a gradual unfolding. But one day you'll look around and you'll realize that your outside world finally matches your inner world. And that feeling is one of profound peace and homecoming. So, if you're feeling like your old life just doesn't fit anymore, I want you to hear this. Do not panic. You are not lost. You are not failing. You are evolving. This is what growth feels like. Let go of the past without regret and trust yourself to move forward into the future, even without all the answers. Your next chapter is waiting for you to write it. If this video resonated with you or helped you feel understood, please give it a like and consider sharing it with someone who might need to hear this message. And do not forget to subscribe for more content on personal growth and creating a life that feels like your own. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.